Thank you for joining me for this week. My name is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for my podcast show, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. Thank you so much for joining me for another week and this new year, 2019. Can you believe it? It has came up on us real quick. And so now this is my second week focusing on my short story that I released last summer. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it. I enjoyed it when I wrote it years ago when I was the editor at Sweet 101 Harlem Renaissance. So for this particular podcast, mostly I do focus on my Heart of Hearts, the first book I ever wrote, which was Mitzrayim, and formulated into Mole. And so this is a different short story, a different time frame. We're talking about the Harlem Renaissance. So last summer in 2018, I released a full short. It cut off, but pretty much you got the full episode, you can say. Now I'm naming this bonus. So last summer I did bonus 1, bonus 2. Last week it was bonus 3. So you got to find out what happened, why they couldn't pick up their phone, what was Tony talking about. And this week we will continue on. So for this month I decided to do another free month that I'm releasing the full short story. This is considered a premium podcast. So when I release the clip snippet and you see that part of the title, that's just really half of the short. To get the full episode of that short story, you will have to become a patron member. You can get a link to my Patreon page in the bottom of this description, and it can tell you more about it and go from there to get the access to the full short, get more information, because I don't release everything in those clip snippets. So here, just to get you more familiar with Mahogany, a different short story, I'm going to again release this for the whole month. So let's go ahead and get started where we left off. This will be Mahogany Bonus 4. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's begin. For this week of my podcast show, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. For bonus number 4, Mahogany. Opening scene. It was several hours later. The sun had set, and the Sands family was at the dinner table. Jewels was picking at her food because there were so many things on her mind. She finally looked up and saw her younger brother, Wilson Sands. Everyone calls him Will for short. He was 1 year younger than her, but he acted as if he was the older sibling at times. His thick Nubian hair was cut so neat around his perfect. He always had something funny to say. He was wearing his favorite color green shirt over his neat dark color pants. He glanced at Jules, giving her his playful smile as he took another bite out of his meal. His light brown eyes were bronze skylines from the sun sets in the horizon. Jules looked over to her younger sister, whose hair was in long braids tied in a neat overlay wrap. Jules' sister's name was Nami. She had a cute round face with big dark brown eyes. Nami was wearing Jules' light yellow dress. Jules gave Nami a suspicious eye, but Nami pretended she didn't notice Jules was mad. Nami continued to look down at her plate as she ate. Suddenly, their father broke the silence. Sitting at the head of the table, Bertha placed her fork down as she had no idea there was no previous talking going on. There is a matter that needs to be handled before we finish dinner this evening. All eyes were on Bill Sands. I feel there comes a time when we must make changes in our lives. I have been more than supporting to you three while you have indulged in your personal endeavors, but we every day to better our circumstances and to pave the way for others and within our community to do the same. Jules' stomach started to twist and jolt back and forth. She took a drink out of her glass of water to calm her unsettling stomach. It didn't help. Her stomach seemed to predict something was coming down, or that she did not or would not agree to. That is why the following would take place immediately. Nami, in the morning, Basila would be by to take you to the new Harlem Dance Youth School. It's quite a distance away, but she would now be overseeing you most of the time for the next several months. I have approved for you to travel at times abroad when they tour in Europe, and I already handled the necessary paperwork. Will, I have arranged for you and Coty to pick up. Will, I have arranged for Coty to pick you up in the morning and take you to the sub-apartment houses for you to attend the National Academy of Design, where the painter Johnson at the times returns to show his art. Will's eyes seemed to crystallize as diamonds, but he dared not to interrupt his father, for his father was speaking in his authoritative tone. Nammy was biting her lower lip, as you can tell the need to scream for clarification and understanding of why this change, as it was pacing around in her throat, back and forth, to not speak up. And Jewels, I talked to the Dean of Spelman College to have you enter the next set of classes to begin your way past education and teaching. You leave in the morning as well. Tony has agreed to drive you to the train station. When you arrive to Atlanta, Josie Waters will be waiting to take you to her house for college students. He said calmly to his children, as if the orders were simply as ordering a meal. The room was silent for a moment. I will miss you all, not living with me and your mother, but I know, Daddy. Jules tries to speak, but her stomach seemed to explode. Jules tries to speak as her nerves continue to get the best of her, but she fought through it. I wanted to talk to you earlier about my goals for myself. I don't want to be a teacher. I wish to be a singer. That is what I want to do. And now you are going to send me off? What is going on? I have no say into my own choices of my own life. Jules was about to fumble out every emotion and desire in her heart. Jules, it has been way past time for you to get on with your life and stop this foolish talk of singing in nightclubs with musicians. Mahogany is a living for me to provide for my family. It is a nightclub, yes. It is a very sophisticated nightclub that also houses important meetings for the movement forward of Afro-Americans here in the States. It is a wonderful restaurant as well that serve high clients that wish to come to Harlem and experience that feeling. But for you, I want you to expand your education and go further into life. This is only a stepping stone for you to move in a better way, to give you the best opportunity the world has to offer, and that is for you a higher education. I do not want you working in a nightclub or a restaurant forever and touring the world singing the blues only. Now I have made my decision, and as long as I am supporting you, the decision is final. He stood up from the table and looked at everyone briefly before leaving the room. Jules was just staring in silence as her brother and sister got up to leave. They knew not to say anything and kept moving, for in a way they were happy of where they were going to and what they wanted, except Jules. Bertha still sat in her chair watching her daughter. Jules finally, with tears rolling down her cheek. You said nothing in my defense, Mama. I do not wish to go down south for 4 years and become a teacher. I hate the experience. The decision has been made. Your father knows what is best. No! Jules screamed. What is best for him? Not what I want in my heart. And to give no warning, just throw it down my throat? I don't want to leave Harlem. I want to stay and work here at Mahogany. Mama, please stop this, child. I will help you pack your things. Jules' eyes filled with more tears that continued to stream down her face like waterfalls. Jules rubbed her hands on her lap before standing up. She looked over to her mother. Don't bother, she said before walking out of the room. End scene. Thank you so much for joining me for this bonus, which would be bonus 4. I hope you enjoyed this particular part of Mahogany. All right, and so we will continue on for another week. And again, if you enjoy this particular podcast, go ahead and connect with me. You can either join the newsletter that I have. You can that's on Mole, so you can go to mole.com and just click contact, enjoy the updates. This podcast is pretty much connected to Mole. This is just an extended out expansion, like beyond that time frame. But go ahead and connect with, refer, share this podcast episode, share it with a friend, tell somebody if you like it. Keep in touch, keep connected, connect with us with this podcast on Twitter and Facebook. And thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great one. See you next time. Thank you. And also, this is a premium podcast again, so if you want to become a patron member, go ahead and click that link at the bottom of this bonus. Also, go ahead and join our YouTube channel. That would be actually the Mole channel, because that's the parent of all of this. So you can go ahead and connect with Mole YouTube channel as well, and just stay connected and share the links and what have you. You can support it in that way. All right, thank you so much, and have a great one. See you.